So, for these last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of downloads around masculine and feminine energy. And when I say that, I'm not talking about gender, the way that we identify them in this physical realm. I'm talking about masculine electric energy versus magnetism, which is feminine energy. So yesterday I just decided to pull out my notebook and I wrote everything down. I wrote down all the seasons, I wrote down the zodiacs, I wrote down the reproductive and the destructive cycles, and I labeled all of them based on whether or not they were masculine or feminine energy. Anything ruled by Mercury is going to be both. And when you have it on a sheet of paper, you really realize how ordered the universe actually is. So for example, in the reproductive cycles, we have spring and summer. Spring is going to be the masculine cycle. Summer is going to be the feminine cycle. In the destructive cycles, we have autumn and winter. Autumn is the masculine, winter is the feminine. Every zodiac, starting at Aries, ending at Pisces, goes masculine, feminine, right? Because those two energies balance each other out. Whatever the previous sign is missing, the next sign has. The same thing appears in the planets as well. There are 3 feminine planets, there are 3 masculine planets, and then there's one planet, Mercury, which is both energies. Same with your chakra system, right? And it makes me think about the balance and harmony in nature, which comes with the number 7. 7 is not found naturally in nature. However, 7 brings the harmony and balance that we need to the order that is the universe. That's why we have 7 chakras. That's why we have 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 colors of the rainbow, etc., etc. And writing all this down, really what it made me realize is that when people say we live in the realm of illusions, they literally mean that everything is an illusion because everything appears as separate when everything is the same thing. Living in a realm of duality means that if something exists, the opposite of that thing must also exist. So that means that everything that we experience happens on a spectrum. We could either be using the positive, more electric side of that spectrum, or we could be using the negative or more dielectric side of that spectrum. The more electric, positive side of that spectrum expands, it attracts. It's more alkaline, whereas the more negative or dielectric side contracts. It repels in its feminine energy, its magnetism, and acidic. The electric energy or the masculine energy is going to be more masculine. However, it has feminine components. Whereas the physical energy or non-physical is going to be more feminine, but it has masculine components. What I mean by that is the 2 elements that are purely masculine, purely feminine are going to be fire and water. We are made up of both of those elements, and that's where we get our pure knowing from. Those 2 elements have to do with knowing. The masculine fire has to do with gaining knowledge, getting downloads, matching frequencies on a mental plane. Whereas the feminine energy has to do with your emotions. It has to do with how you feel about the knowledge that you're receiving. Both of those energies come from the spirit. But in order for it to be converted from the spirit into our physical vessel, air and earth have to help. Air aids fire and earth aids water. Air and earth elements help us with this physical reality, and they have to do with doing things. Air is about thinking. Earth is about action. It's about putting things into action, actually starting whatever it is you're supposed to be starting. It's about materializing things. And just because I don't want this to go over y'all head, thinking and doing are both actions. They both create something. That means that you create out of the element of masculinity and you create out of the element of femininity. Masculine energy creates through thought, while feminine energy creates through actual action, actually putting things into physical form. And if everything is on a spectrum, that means you can think positive thoughts, alkaline thoughts, electric thoughts, or you can think dielectric, magnetic thoughts. Masculine thoughts are going to attract. That means manifestation. Magnetic thoughts are going to repel. That means blocked, limit, restrict. Remember, earth helps water, so how you feel determines how you act. So you can be stuck in constantly thinking about how you feel, if it's a negative emotion, if it's a positive emotion, or you can actually do things that make you feel good.